We're excited to introduce Terry Williams, a decorated Marine veteran whose journey from military leadership to entrepreneurial success demonstrates the power of transformational thinking. Terry served our nation for 32 years in the U.S. Marine Corps, retiring in 2019 as Brigadier General. After retiring from the Marines, Terry founded Van Williams LLC, a consulting firm specializing in facilities management, logistics innovation, and executive coaching. His ability to see opportunities and apply military leadership principles to civilian challenges quickly established him as a trusted advisor to organizations seeking operational excellence. Currently, Terry serves as Senior Vice President of Global Fixed Assets at PenFed Credit Union and Program Director at the PenFed Foundation, where he continues his commitment to serving others. We're looking forward to hearing about Terry's approach to transformational leadership and how his military background shapes his work with entrepreneurs today.
Welcome to the MilCom Founders Podcast, where we champion and celebrate military community business founders. In each episode, we will talk with a MilCom business founder to learn how they work through various obstacles and opportunities in business and in life. I'm your host, Rod Loches. Let's meet today's guest. Welcome to the MilCom Founders Forum Podcast. I'm your host, Rod Loches. Today, we have the opportunity to champion and celebrate Terry Williams, a retired Marine General, the director of the PenFed Foundation Veteran Entrepreneur Program. Terry, thanks for making the time today. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, Rod, this is great. I'm glad you're doing this because this is an awesome opportunity for you to tell the world about veterans and veteran entrepreneurship, and for me to do the same thing. So I appreciate you having me on today.
Absolutely. Well, Terry, I want to take a step back. I want to learn a little bit about you and what makes you tick, and then we'll go through your military experience, and most importantly then, or maybe not most importantly, but then I'd love to hear about the community building that you do with the VEEP program, and also AI, the importance of AI, and some of the leadership things you've learned as far as being a general in the Marine Corps. So that's just the kind of three things we want to cover today. But tell me quickly, Terry, if you could, about the young Terry, the growing up Terry. Who and how and how did you get here?
So the young Terry was a rebel. I was a military brat. My father and mother were Air Force enlisted. My father stayed on to retire. My mother got out. There were 6 of us. So at the time, I don't think they would let you stay in with 6 kids and still be on active duty. So she got out, born in Germany, lived all over Germany, Hawaii, California, New York State, you name it, but ended up in California, which is where I ended up based on my parents. They got a divorce, and as we split, we ended up in California, in Los Angeles for the most part.
Okay.
And then moved to Santa Monica. It wasn't the military that caused me to want to be in the military. It's a long story on that. I can get to that afterwards. But it was really in college when I decided that, you know what, I got to do something, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. It was also in college when I found the Lord Jesus Christ, which is kind of part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So how I became a Marine officer, again, I was a rebel. Everybody, thought Williams was just out of control, because I kind of was. But I saw 2 officer recruiting officers on Bruin Walk as I was heading up to one of my classes, and they kind of looked at me, looked at both themselves, looked back at me, shook their heads, saying, no.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, okay, I don't know what these guys are talking about, but I better figure it out. So I walked up to them. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Well, we were just kind of talking amongst ourselves whether or not we thought you would make a good candidate as an officer. But yeah, we don't think so. I'm like, what? You guys don't even know me. And boom, they got me. That's how they pulled me in.
Was that the reverse sale? Was that what they were doing?
That's exactly what it was. And I was gullible enough to fall for it. But when I did decide to go in, the funny thing is, everybody who knew me thought, Williams, Marines, no way. He'll be thrown out before he even finishes his officer candidate school. And but no, I was able to get through, and of course,
Wow.
32 years later, plus some, yeah.
And you're a combat engineer in the Marines, right?
Yep. So I started out as a combat engineer. And the Marine Corps is interesting because when you're in that kind of combat engineer world, even though you're on the kind of the what we call the division side or the warfighter side, not the support side, you're you're kind of a little bit of everything. So you're a
Uh-huh.
logistics officer. And so throughout my career, not only did I do a lot of engineering, but I did a lot of logistics. In
Yeah.
fact, I was a CSS commander in Haiti as a logistician.
Oh,
I went to the Joint Staff out at NATO, Allied Command Transformation, where I was a logistics officer as well there. And I did a lot of stuff with the installation side of the house as well.
hmm.
So I had a very, very interesting set of experiences that I was able to blessed with.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Terry, what's something that you do to take care of yourself on a daily, because as a Marine and a veteran, what's something that you do every day that takes to take care of yourself?
Yeah, so there's two things that I do, and I've been doing it since, like I said, since probably mid college. Some of it I've been doing before that, and that's one of the most important things is the spiritual side. And
Hmm.
so when I get up in the mornings, I'll pray to my Lord and Savior. I will also then read the Bible, and that kind of re-energizes me. And then I also work out. So I like to
Yeah,
keep physically fit because you really have to. Because
that's right.
yeah, if you don't keep physically fit, it just it just heaps on you.
Right.
We all get old, we all get ailments. So keeping fit helps at least minimize the pain that comes from getting old age.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Terry, this whole iPhone thing, the best thing I've ever found with this iPhone is all the health tracking that it does and
Yeah,
those dashboards. It's really helped me understand what I need to do to stay in shape and get in better shape. And it's
yeah.
been a wonderful tool to engage with and help me with that. So it's something good from the smartphone that has come about, and it's the
I,
health benefit.
and I think it's going to get even better with AI, and I'll talk about a little bit about that later on.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Terry, life is like a box of chocolates. It's always fun and rosy and all that, right? But we all have challenges that we have to get through. What's a challenge that you've faced and you've overcome in your life? I think
Yeah, so
what
boy, I've actually had a lot of challenges from a death of a child to of my own child, my wife and I, to things not going so well, death in combat, and
yeah.
then other things that happen. So so many of them. But here's what I would say: they all have one common theme.
Hmm.
You just have to work through it, hang in there, and regardless of what that challenge is, no matter how bad it is, you will always come out on the other side in a better way.
Yeah, God bless you.
Yeah. So no matter, like I said, some of them were administrative issues, some of them were deaths of a family member, deaths of Marines, things that didn't go right in your career. You thought you were going one way, it went another. You just have to know. And for me, like I said, um, I just look up and the big guy's taking care of me. So
Yeah.
as long as I have faith that things are going to turn out, and quite frankly, every one of those things that looked like they were bad turned out to be, a change of life. Really made
Hmm.
things, gave me a different perspective, helped me help others in ways that I never
Hmm.
thought I'd be able to help them.
Yeah. The I appreciate your sharing your faith. And Terry, coming to faith just 10 years ago, is a little saying that I have that Jen and I say oftentimes throughout the day, step by step, day by day, the Lord will light our way.
Yes.
because it's not if we have those challenges, it's when.
Yep.
It's when.
Yep.
And thank God that they came into my life, that Christ came into my life, because
Yep.
I do he has lit my way so many times when I thought there was darkness all around with
Yes.
different
Yeah.
challenges. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's for sure. So amazing, amazing. So you end up at PenFed, and you end up overseeing the V program, which is a program that's very near and dear to my heart, as you know.
Yep.
Um, Tell me about the importance of the community and the cohort program that you've put together there at PenFed and in general for the
Yeah.
veteran entrepreneurs.
Yeah. So community, regardless of what you're doing, is absolutely important, especially for veteran entrepreneurs. You can relate to the community being your team, your your platoon, your company in the military. Well, the same thing is true as you get out. It's the whole ecosystem.
Hmm.
The strengths of the community lie in your ability to foster collaboration, mentorship, resiliency, um, all kinds of other qualities for both personal growth and entrepreneurial growth. And so within the PenFed Veteran Entrepreneur Program, we really do believe that's one of those areas that we're trying to bring to those who come through our program.
Hmm.
When an individual feels like they're supported and connected, they will generally, be more innovative. They will generally take risks, smart risks. They'll generally navigate challenges with confidence and get through a lot of other challenges. So a big part of that is the community. Super smart, super important for us to have.
Yeah.
We also believe that having that network, that community, and I believe the Syracuse University, their IMVF, I think is what it is, or IMFB. I can't remember. I
Yeah.
apologize.
IVMF. Yep. Yep.
Thank
Yep.
you. Those guys, a couple of years back, they put out something, and they really said there were three areas, major areas that were really barriers to veteran entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
One of which was access to capital. The other one was mentorship. And of course, the final one was a network. And that makes sense, right? If you're
Sure.
if you're in the military and you're training all the time, or you're getting, you're in garrison and your whole life is really around service, being the best you can be so you can be the world's greatest Army, Navy, Marine Corps, whatever it happens to be, you're spending a lot of time. And then on
Hmm.
top of that, you've got all these deployments that you have to do. So you don't have time to build those connections in the business world. And so, which are so important because it's
Right.
there that you get your understanding, you get your mentorship, you get your resources. And so that's why we think it's super duper important for us to build community. So that's one of our cornerstone things that we're looking to do with our program, and that is to build a network, call it a community, but yeah, build that network.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you've had, gosh, I wonder how many people have been through the VEAP program over the past 6, 7 years.
Yeah, so it's 200 plus.
Wow.
And you know what? We're trying to expand the program. So as we look to next year,
Hmm.
we've already got some things in place. I want to, give it away because it hasn't been improved by the board yet. But we are definitely looking to expand in a number of areas.
Yes.
Um, uh, I can probably say we want to do more cohorts with more individual founders in those cohorts. We want to do them in various locations, so additional locations. We want to look at potentially expanding in the um, incubator side of the house as well. We want an accelerator, but we're thinking
Hmm.
about also adding an incubator to touch
Mm.
more veterans. Remember, and you know this, Rod, veterans generally hire veterans.
Yes.
So we touch more veterans when we can when we can touch more veterans, for lack of a better.
Force multiplication, absolutely.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And we've got some other things in the works that we want to do to expand the program. But yeah, we think it's a super duper important part of it.
Yeah. Well, and you know this, my getting involved with the PenFed program 6 or 7 years ago, I was blessed. It brought me back into the veteran community, and being around these amazing men and women has helped me get healthier, happier, better connected. It's just been a fantastic experience for myself. So thank you for making that available to me as a mentor with the program. So it's been great.
Well, we gotta thank you, Rod, you and your lovely bride for
Mhm.
being a part of our program with 1Degree. It just brings a greater dimension to our cohorts than not having you. You guys come and show up every time,
Yep.
and it's a much better, I think, delivery when you can do it in person, right?
Yep.
You can
Absolutely.
interact, when you can socialize. So thank you and 1Degree
Absolutely.
for what you guys do for our program. It really is a great deal.
You're welcome. The independence of the program, because it's not tied to any funding sources going forward. I just talked with one of the other recent cohort members, and they were talking about how powerful that was for them because it wasn't tied to direct investment dollars.
Yeah.
Do you want to shed a little bit of light on that?
Yeah, so that's one of the principles that we are going to keep forever in this program, and we like to tell everybody: we do not charge a penny for anyone to come through our program. That includes not only all the courses and everything else, but it includes hotels, flights, it includes everything. And then on top of that, we don't take an equity stake in their companies either. So for us, it really is a big deal. We want veterans to know that there's a place they can come and really get some quality. We've got some great speakers. We've got some great entrepreneurs who have done that, been there, done that. And they come in out of the goodness of their heart, and they really help our entrepreneurs figure out their journey so that they can be that much better. And we have a mentorship program that's part of that stays on with them for another 6 weeks after the actual in-person coursework. And once you become a part of the program, you're always with the program. So we're still talking to folks and working with folks and helping folks out from 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Absolutely. Are there a couple cohort graduates that you might want to just highlight and share their success journeys?
Yeah. So you always hate to just pinpoint some or pick them out, but there are some that are really just and this is true. I'm just randomly picking people out. So you others who I don't talk about, don't feel like I'm that don't hate me. So we like to talk about Nick Grillo, an Air Force guy. He has a company called Elevate Vending. He came through the program, I want to say last year. Actually, it was this year. Actually, gee whiz, it seems like it was just so long ago. And he is what an incredible addition to the entrepreneur ecosystem, the veteran entrepreneur ecosystem.
That's right.
He really brings a new level of energy to what used to be an old kind of service, and that is vending. He's basically tied AI to vending and has made it much more convenient, much more efficient for everybody involved. And then he added another twist, which is he partners with the local community. So it's a three-way benefit to everybody. His company partners with producers of items, and then he works with things like companies and corporations like PenFed or Monumental, for example. He just landed himself a great big contract there. So he's doing a lot of great stuff since coming through our program. Opley, which was changed from Home. What they used to call themselves? I can't remember. But Opley, which is Gabe and Lindsay Crimson, Army vets founded the company. And it's basically an AI-driven platform that has all things about your home, to include the paint colors, whatever. And you can also get work done through that app through vetted vendors. These guys, Lindsay, first female AH-6 pilot, if I'm not mistaken. Lindsay, forgive me if the little bird, as they used to call it. West Point grad. Her husband, Gabe, also a West Point grad. My Home was what it was called. That's right. My Home was the old name of it. They have just been taking off and doing some great stuff. Probably Charles Masters Rodriguez comes to mind too. He was an Army diver, had to take care of the motor pools and so forth. And really his pain point was, boy, this whole maintenance chain and supply chain and OEMs is really not, nobody does this well. Let me see if I can throw AI on top of this and really connect things up and really make things happen. So he really has. He's a great founder, Army diver, had a company prior that's still going. So these are some smart, great folks, and they're all like that in their own way, who are just doing some phenomenal work. And I think they're going to be very, very successful, and success breeds success. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. So a theme that's running through a lot of these organizations you just mentioned was AI.
Yeah.
Now, Terry, I know that you on a personal level are using AI like crazy. You've been a great proponent of it within PenFed and beyond. What are your thoughts and ideas and insights on artificial intelligence?
Yeah. So I tell everybody, no matter who I'm talking to, artificial intelligence is revolutionary. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
From the simplest applications of AI, things like, let me see, scheduling appointments, or even just doing searches, all the way to full stack built applications for those who don't even know how to code.
Yeah.
AI is absolutely transformative. And I got to tell you, from a entrepreneur side of the house, AI is absolutely a game changer. It turns one person potentially into 20. You can use AI to create all of your forms in-house. You can use it to create all of your legal documentation before you talk with a legal, an attorney of sorts. You can create your SEO and your marketing plans with this stuff. And it's quite frankly just a simple conversation with the AI.
Yeah.
But I do warn everybody, you got to check and verify. Because although AI is great and it just does so many different things, if you're not careful, you can just believe certain things and put yourself out there, and it's come back to bite you. I think everybody heard. I don't know if this is a real story or not, but it illustrates the point. So we had this law firm that decided they were going to use AI to do some research and create this case. And so they were in court, and as they were briefing the case, the judge, being, very inquisitive, but very, very professional, said, whoa, can you help me out here? I'm not familiar with that case you're citing. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? Well, it turned out that the AI hallucinated, made up the case, and they didn't check anything, and they used it. And fail. So, AI is not God. AI is just another tool, but it is revolutionary. But you got to check it. If you don't check it, you're just going to find yourself in trouble.
That's 100%. It is a force multiplier, but trust but verify. And
Yeah.
we're using AI more and more within one degree, and we have to check it. And you
Yep.
go, oh, why do I have to check it? Because, well, if you're gonna become three times more powerful as one individual, if you got to spend 5% of your time checking it, you're still 295% ahead by
Yes.
doing that. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
There's a friend of mine who's used AI in a really cool way. He has made songs using AI, Terry. Can you
Would that
believe that?
friend, would that friend be me?
Oh, it is. Yes, that's right.
That's right. So yeah, so I've always been a geek all my life. I was a math major at UCLA. I was playing with the TRS 80 when it first came out in high
Wow.
school. Yeah, it was a long time ago. I was programming on punch cards, so that tells you how old I was. And although
Uh-huh.
I was a Marine, I really still kept my eye on those technical, pretty, glossy, as they like to say, shiny objects. And
Yeah.
when generative AI first came out, I was still in the Marine Corps. My last job as the plans and policy guy for the Marine Corps, we were doing a little bit with that AI stuff. And so when I got out, I was hot on all that generative AI, and so I played with everything possible. And one of the things I did was I used a lot of the tools to generate songs, and so I've
Mhm.
created 3 albums now, Christian contemporary music albums that have a variety of styles and genres within those albums. They're out there. You can get them out there on Spotify or any of those other places. And yeah, I just did it because I thought it was fun, and quite frankly, I thought it gets out the word. The
Yeah.
other thing I did was I created a symphony because I thought, hey, let me see how flexible this thing is. So it's a 6-part symphony that I created using the different AI tools out there back then, and it's out. It's partially out there, but I think if you go to Band Labs, which is what the
Oh,
distributor I use, you can probably see it out there because I think I opened it up to everybody to look at and see. So yeah, we also did a couple books. Those books, yeah, we've got 2 on Amazon. One is called The
wow.
Corruption Within. The other one is
Corruption.
called The Singularity Dawn. But here's what I would say: we did those with AI just to see if we could do them. And AI back then, the context window was very small. It didn't remember everything, so you had to keep feeding it back in, and it was just a disaster. So I actually,
Yeah.
while I was working out, so between reps, I was using the AI to create stuff, and yeah, and so we said, let's just try to put it out. So we put them out. They got better and better. We've got another one. We've got the third one, which is called The Destruction. They're both thriller storylines.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, so just great. And we've actually come a long way because now we're doing full stack apps because
Wow.
that generative AI has really become incredible where you can have a conversation and create websites and
Mhm.
create, you know, at least prototypes, which saves an entrepreneur a lot of money, a
Yeah.
lot of time, um, and you can take it to the professionals and say, hey, I want you to kind of use this and scale it, or I want you to make
It's
sure this is safe. Yeah,
yeah, it's amazing. Well, two things. One is I'm always amazed to see how many mathematicians love music, and you're another example of that. And somehow there's such a meeting of the mind, or whatever you want to call it, how
yeah,
that nexus comes together
yeah,
is just absolutely amazing. So that's pretty cool. But the other thing, Terry, that you just pointed out is that the power of AI is that look at those different things that you've got to learn and engage with. So
absolutely.
it's not replacing Terry, and the way you're using it, it's enriching your life,
That's
your
exactly right.
environment, your professional life.
Yep.
And a symphony, 6-part. I mean, oh my gosh, 3 books. I mean, so you're not only reading books, you're helping create them and build them by doing that, and that is the enrichment piece that I don't think a lot of us have thought about, of how it can enrich our lives and how it
Yes.
can
Yeah.
empower us.
That's exactly because I've always wanted to, write a book or something, but
Yeah.
number one, don't have the time, and number two, I just don't I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. I don't have the skills because I'm not an English major. I was a math major, what we call the hard sciences. But what it allows you to do is it allows you to scale, build. They're all your ideas. So it's not like you're just saying,
Hmm.
okay, AI, write me a story. No, no.
Hmm.
You're going through and you're kind of shaping every step of the way because it's your idea. It's just helping you write it in a way that makes better sense and that you can package it and put it out there for others to read.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's amazing, Terry. We've talked about punch cards to AI, and just think of that about that. All the stuff that we've seen in our life.
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing we're about the same age,
Yep.
and you go back 100 years, or whatever. All this technology that keeps faster and faster and faster. And I think of technology, cultures, government, all those things, and yeah, Terry. When I think back to 100 years before and 100 years out, the only thing that's going to be constant between then and then is the love of Christ.
Yes.
And everything else is temporary, fleeting, and will continue to change, all of it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very fortunate I can have that open conversation with you. And
Yes.
but it's amazing. I'm getting ready to officiate a wedding for a young couple, and that's kind of the premises. In 50 years, when they're celebrating their wedding, when they get flown in on their personal drone and all these
Yeah.
other things,
Yeah.
everything will change
Yeah.
except the love of Christ in which they're getting married. That's the one
Absolutely.
thing that will be there for them,
That's exactly
for
right.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah. And so it's pretty amazing. So you energize me with my faith when I talk to you. So sorry about maybe oversharing with
No,
that,
you're
but
not. Hey, let me tell you something. There's people really have to take a step back in life and really understand because everybody dies. Everybody knows that. And so you got to really do your research and understand, at least, you know, where you're going after you die. And quite
yeah.
frankly, in Christianity, this, we're, we don't, we play a role, but it's really the Holy Spirit that picks those folks, but you have a role in
Hmm.
it. And so you can either harden your heart and not look, or you can say, okay, I'm going to look because I care. There's a difference
Yeah.
between a vapor of life and then where you are in eternity, which is forever. And that's a
Hmm.
big decision to make. And like I said at the beginning, some of the things I've gone through have really made me think and rethink those things. And every time it points to Christ and his death on the cross that atones so that I'm not perfect. I won't be perfect until the resurrection. But he stepped off the throne, wrapped himself in flesh so that we could live and live abundantly, which
Yeah.
includes our second life. So yeah,
That's right. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
yes,
So,
sir.
so Terry, as a not just as a brigadier, as a lieutenant, as an ROTC, or not, or
I was a
uh,
PLC guy. I
you're a
was an
PLC.
artillery leader
Yeah, I was
guy.
gonna say I was
And
biting my tongue as soon as I let
yes.
that out. Like, sorry about
Oh my
that.
goodness. I'm not sure if I would have done it if I had to do 2 6 weeks or something, which was the other program we had.
Yeah,
It was interesting.
yeah. But the parallels and the learnings that you had in the military
Yeah.
to what you help instill into these veteran business founders today.
Yeah.
What are some of those key components of military leadership that you see that continues to get woven in and helps people succeed? What are those two
Yeah.
or three things?
So there are so many of them.
Hmm.
I'll just hit on a few because these are the ones that stand out in my head, and they're super duper important. I'll tell you, one of the first things is humility, right? Veterans learn humility, recognize both their own strengths, weaknesses, limitations, and they also understand that for the team. So as you think about, okay, why are veterans so great at being entrepreneurs? Is
Hmm.
because they really understand that. They take care of people. They understand that it's all about the people, right?
Yeah.
Mission first, people always, because you can't get anything done without that. So not being, what's the best word I'm trying to say without
Uh-huh.
being humble. That's the best way I can say it. Not
Yeah.
thinking you know everything. A lot of these entrepreneurs, veterans, come out, and that's exactly what they learned and brought with them. Discipline's another one. Discipline is absolutely important to be an entrepreneur because, number one, you're living in this crazy world of uncertainty, which, by the way, they learn from being in the military, combat, contingencies, or just training. And so being very disciplined about your approach generally wins the day. In fact, I read, it was about maybe two years ago. I don't know what the numbers are today, so I apologize. 2 or 3 years ago, the Small Business Administration said that, or showed that veteran entrepreneurs had a 6% greater chance of succeeding than the average civilian. And that's down from what it used to be, because now we have less folks from the military transitioning and becoming entrepreneurs. So we have, I think it's only like 4% or something. It used to be very, very high. So discipline's one of them. And you know that, Rod. I'd say adaptability, flexibility, that's another big one. We learned that. We used to say semper Gumby, meaning always. Yes. Gumby was flexible. You could put it in any position. So always flexible, because changes you get thrown at you, you can plan till the cows come home, but you're going to get a change to it. So planning is great because it gives you a basis to make that change. But actually, you just got to be very adaptable, flexible. Semper Gumby, I like to say.
Semper Gumby. I think that's hilarious. Now, are you going to take that to the next Marine Corps birthday party? And
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Marines have a tradition of celebrating our 10 November 1775, where the Marine Corps was founded.
Right.
And so every year, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what you're doing, you're gonna do a cake cutting ceremony to celebrate that. So we'll do that. There's no way that we can get AI to do that, but we are going to always do that. And I'll be at one of those this year at least.
Absolutely. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Terry, what's one last thing that you would share with veteran entrepreneurs? Insights, ideas, thoughts?
Yeah.
What's that closing thought you have?
Yeah. So I've heard a number of entrepreneurs say this, veteran entrepreneurs say this, who are more seasoned, if you will, so a little older. And it's really all about persistence. Being an entrepreneur and being a veteran entrepreneur is extremely tough. But you just can't give up. Because if you just stay with it and you push through, you will see success. And even if you don't succeed at your first company or your first endeavor, that's not unusual. That happens to a lot of folks. And in fact, in some cases, it was a good thing that person failed, because they learn from that failure, just like you did in the service. You turn around, you try a different endeavor, and you do that much better, and you're generally much more successful.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's what I would say. Then the final thing I would say is spirituality. If you don't think about that part of your growth, then you're really missing the whole person. You're really missing your chance to really be the best that you could possibly be.
Yeah.
Because there is a spiritual element to your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And I know you know of the scholarship fund already. But thank you for everything you've done. We're going to make $100 donation in your name today.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes, we just our way to contribute back to our community and continue to help either a young man or woman of a military family attend either trade school or college, whichever is the right one for them. So really appreciate everything. And Terry, let me just say thank you to the whole PenFed team, from James Skank and all the way down, for what everybody does for the veteran communities, all across the board, not just veteran entrepreneurs, but everybody. It's amazing how the PenFed have given back to all the veterans in America and all military community families and connecting
Excellent.
people.
Excellent. And if I could, if anybody is interested in our program, the Veteran Entrepreneur Program, they can find us at PenFedFoundation.org, and then you can do a drop down and you'll see our program there. And if you're interested in being a part of it, meaning you want to go through the program, just apply. We have a running application 24/7, 365. If you're interested in helping out, just contact us. There's a contact information there. You can do terry.williams@penfed.org. And if you're interested in donating to the foundation, you can do that too by contacting us at the foundation. So thank you, Rod, and we look forward to doing more with you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thanks for joining us on the MilCom Founders Podcast. If you know a MilCom founder with a story to share, reach out to us at milcomfounders.com. For each guest on our show, One Degree Financial donates $100 to the Dick Wojcik Veteran Entrepreneur Scholarship Fund, supporting education for children of a MilCom business owner. Stay ready.